The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. The people with the most freedom in this world have money and lots of it. So I decided I'm going to become a billionaire, and on the way there, I am going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donovan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it, and if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story, and you can find me on Instagram at Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we're into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 88 of the story. So we have 4 different segments: the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topics of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is November 23rd, and it is 4:01 p.m. Before we start with the topics of the day, I always like to find out what our screen time was for last week, because I know that if I want to become a billionaire, that I need to lower the amount of time I spend on my cell phone. Okay, last week my average screen time was 7 hours and 15 minutes. The highest day for me last week was Monday, which was 9 hours and 6 minutes. And the lowest week for me was Friday, which was 4 hours and 12 minutes. My most used app last week was YouTube for 9 hours and 47 minutes, which is actually, I feel like that's pretty good, because Instagram is my third, which is 6 hours and 56 minutes. So that's definitely a lot better than normal. My most pickups was the amount of times I picked up my phone was 120 times in one day, which was on Wednesday. And then the average was 91 for the week. And my lowest was Monday, which was 60 times that I picked up my phone. So, Melissa, what is your average screen time for last week?
Mine was 5 hours and 17 minutes.
Hold on. I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 hours and 15 minutes. Okay.
7 hours and 15 minutes. Mine is 5 hours and 17 minutes. My total screen time for the week was 37 hours. This week or last week? Talking about last week.
37 hours? Okay.
I spent 8 hours on Instagram and 4 hours on TikTok. Total pickups was 982. My most picked up was Instagram.
No, what was your most pickups? Like the...
Oh, Sunday for 181.
Okay. And then the average was what?
140.
So something I've tried over the last week, it's not new. I put on the restriction. I put on the restriction on my phone, and I don't know if it's helping or not, because I wake up early in the morning. So because I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and not because I'm going to do any work, just my body wakes up at that time, I will be on my phone. So I might use an hour, if not maybe 2 hours in the morning on my phone before it's even 6 o'clock, 6:30. And then for the rest of the day, I have an hour to use my phone. And I have a restriction. So after those 3 hours, I have, it'll notify me like, hey, you ran over your screen time. Do you want to extend it by 1 minute, 15 minutes, or, ignore it for the whole day? And what my theory is, I want to know if having that restriction for limiting it every 15 minutes will lower my screen time across the whole phone, because every time I go on my phone, I have to then click, yes, I want to extend this 15 minutes. So whether I'm using my calculator, Google Maps, YouTube, it's just always telling me, okay, to extend my 15 minutes. So it's one of those prompts that I feel like subconsciously will make me want to use my phone less. And my screen time went down 27%. Also, because lately I have been driving for dollars, I think my screen time will be higher. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to mitigate that, because I don't want that to mess up how much I am using my phone. Because even just for today, I used Google Maps for 2 hours and 13 minutes. So my screen time for today was 5 hours and 40 minutes. So that means that I would be at 2 hours and, what was that? 2 hours and like 20 minutes or so, something around that time. 23 minutes, something around that. So like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to go around that. Okay, so this week has been more of a maintenance week, it seems like. I was trying to figure out what I would even talk about this week, because I feel like Tuesday came so quickly, and then I didn't really know what happened over the last week. So while I was driving around this morning, I had to figure out, okay, what am I going to talk about during the podcast? And that, I'm talking about just in terms of my life update. So over the last week, let's see some highlights of the last week. We got a booking on Turo, another booking. So like I said, I think Turo is doing pretty well. I'm probably at 75%, 70 to 75% of where I feel like comfortable to get multiple cars. Like I said, I think it's still very early. We've gotten a lot of bookings. I think we've gotten 5 in its entirety, and we've already done 3 of them. So the last booking we had was for 1 day, and based off of a lot of different things, such as how much money we've been making, how many trips we've been getting, and how, after learning about the Turo insurance from Tone, shout out to him, I decided to raise our insurance plan from 75% to 80%. And our deductible is now going to be $750. So that means if something goes wrong with the car, we have to come out of our pocket $750, as opposed to before it was $250. So we got a booking right now. I had planned for this week to go play basketball on Saturday. That was my plan. And I was hyped the whole week. I was like, I'm ready to go play basketball. I haven't played basketball in a while. I want to get some exercise, you know, just shoot the ball. I just love to play basketball. So I was excited all week. So Friday comes, right? So Friday comes, and we're laying in the bed. It's probably 10:30 at night, and we get a booking for Saturday, right? Now, to me, I had this really small feeling from earlier in the week that I was not going to be able to play basketball. I don't know why. I just had this really like strong feeling like, okay, something's going to happen where I can't play basketball. But I made it all the way throughout the whole week. Nothing came up, and I said, okay, I'm going to be able to drive the car to play basketball. That's one of my things, because now that we have the car, it's easy for me to get over there after I play. I'm not as, well, I would be tired, so I can just drive back, as opposed to getting on the train and the bus and sitting on the train and bus for 2 hours. And then, like I said, I'm sweaty, I'm hungry, I want to be back home. So now that we have the car, I can just drive up there. It's easy to get there in probably like 25-30 minutes. And after the game, I can just drive back home. So I was looking forward to that. So 10:30 comes, I'm knocked out. Like I'm running on E at this point. But I still, in my heart, I'm excited to play basketball the next day. As my eyes are closing, Melissa goes, she taps me, shows me my phone, or shows me her phone, and goes, "We got a booking." I'm like, "What? We got a booking?" I'm like, "For when? When we get a booking for?" She's like, "Tomorrow." I'm like, "We have a booking for tomorrow?" Bruh, I'm like, okay. I'm like, fine. I'm still like, you know, fine. It's tomorrow, but I'll still be able to go play basketball, you know, and then drop the car off with her. You know, I'm trying to figure out in my head how I could go and still play basketball. The lady at 10:30 at night booked a car for 11 a.m. the next morning. So now, not only is it for one day, which is the day I wanted to play basketball, it's for 11 in the morning. Not only is it for 11 in the morning, she booked it the day before. So now we have to get up early because we have to drive our car to another state to drop the car off, right? So I was making a video recently about Turo, and I was telling people like, hey, I don't think y'all should be driving, 30-45 minutes to drop your car off. Now, I don't know if it's different from where y'all live at, because for us to get there and get back, it probably cost us like $15, maybe like $30 for both of us, because it's like $7 going, $7 coming back. So yeah, so it's about $30. And we have public transportation, so it's not really a hassle. Now, if we had to drive 30 or 45 miles from here and there was no car to bring us back or no bus to bring us back, it would be a little bit different. But all of that being said, we still have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, because before we get our car to be booked, we always get it washed, a little quick clean, and then we go and get our goodie bags from the deal, right? We spend about $5 or $6. And I think it's crazy because Dollar Tree, I'm telling you, it's $1.25 for stuff. And something about that just does not sit right in my soul. I don't know if you have a Dollar Tree where you're at. Dollar Tree is called the Dollar Tree for a reason. Everything was $1. Everything in the store was $1. Everything. Fiji water bottle, mask, hand sanitizer, everything you want to get. You want things, juice, food, $1. Everything. Now you walk around the store, everything is $1.25. It's something about that just does not sit right with my soul. 25% markup. So something before that was we spent $4 on 4 items. That's $5 now. To me, that's just crazy. Like, it's insane. So I'm in the place, and we're walking around because, like I said, we get our goodie bag. Normally what we'll get is Skittles, Fiji water, mask, hand sanitizer, and we might get some Clorox wipes, right? We try getting some gum. So like I said, we just trying different things. We don't get chocolate because we don't want it to melt in the car. And I feel like, there's always, and then they mess the car if it does melt. They're touching stuff with their fingers and whatnot. So we try not to get chocolate. So we got everything packed. Now to drive the car, honestly, it might have been like 45 minutes to an hour to get over there, right? We get over there. We get the car hand washed because I've already experienced not hand washing it and people scratching the car. So I decided, okay, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. We're only going to get it hand washed. So it was cool. We got to sit in the car while they hand wash it. Everything went pretty smooth. And then we drove around to find a parking spot for the car. I think obviously we're getting a lot better at this because we've had our first trip, which was, in my opinion, a debacle. The lady came over, my pants were down, I was trying to change the license plate off and then it didn't work. I'm running around the city, or at least that 3 or 4 block area, trying to figure out where I can get a rubber band or some zip ties or some string or anything to tie on the license plate, but to no avail. I didn't get any of those things. I think I ended up getting a rubber band. I think I was able to find a rubber band, but again, it just looked very unprofessional. So I was just like devastated, like, damn, we're not gonna get 5 stars, it's gonna be terrible. But it ended up working out for the best. We ended up getting 5 stars, and funny enough, that is our only 5-star review. Everybody else has not reviewed us or rated us at all. So I guess it still looks good. We have 5 stars on our page or on our channel, not our channel, our listing, but there are no other reviews or ratings there. I think honestly they still have time. I believe you get 10 days to leave a review, and then it just automatically posts on your page. So I'm hoping by the 10th day we have a review and a rating. Now we have what? Like I said, we've done 3 trips, and we have another trip coming up in like 2 or 3 days. So like I said, Turo is good. And what I've noticed in every market I've looked at, you have to get multiple cars. Like I feel like with Airbnb, the profit margins are higher, so you don't have to get as many units to make a sustainable income. I feel like with one unit you can make over $1,000, maybe $1,500. I feel like with one car you're doing like, I feel like the average is like $400, like not $300 to $400 profit per car. Every time I think about this, it's so crazy to me that people in DC are doing 90% on the insurance plan and they have to pay $2,500. This will never like not blow my mind that people are doing that out there. Honestly, the fact that anybody does this is crazy to me. I mean, if your car makes a lot of money, I can see that. But if you're making $400 for your car, the deductible is $2,500. Something happens, you just erase all your profits. So to me, it's every time I think about it, I'm just like, this shit is really crazy. So we got this one trip coming up for Thanksgiving, and then we have another one for Christmas. Like I said, I think it comes down to how many bookings we get in December that will let me know whether or not we should get multiple cars. Like I said, if we get another trip between the second trip and the one for Thanksgiving, I said if we get 2 more. We only got 1. I said that then I would feel more comfortable, but I need longer bookings. 1 day is not enough for me, and I need people to book more frequently or for longer periods of time. I think that would then get me to understand the market a little bit better. Now, one of the reasons why I need to increase our income is because I learned this word or this phrase today, right? This is what I think. One thing that's very interesting is this. Most people who are not in business or who are not entrepreneurs or not even in a specific field, their brain or their mind comes up with ideas and solutions that they don't have the word for. And I think once you go to school or once you read books or whatever, you start to be able to put a word to a process or a word to a methodology. So the word that I've learned today is burn rate. Okay. Now for us, I have to figure out what our burn rate is because we have those crazy loans that we took out. Right now, the loans, one of them is charging us $805 every single week. And then the other loan is charging us about $260 a day. So we're looking at, we're doing 260 times 5. That's 200. And then we're looking at 1,000. So looking like $1,250. So looking at about $2,000 a week. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, we're looking at close to about $1,000 a week, right? And the income that we have from Turo and YouTube is not high enough to slow down the burn rate that we're going at this point. So it's now time to figure out, okay, how can we make more money, at least to extend that burn rate or infuse more cash or capital from somewhere. The house is coming along. The plumbing is done. Right now, they are or should be doing HVAC, which would be, heating and cooling. So that's where we're at right now with that. And like I said, the house is coming along. We're still getting there, but there's going to come a point or an equilibrium, I feel like, where the amount, whatever the contractor needs for the house in terms of money, we won't have the money to give him before the lender gives it to us. And that's where we're trying to extend that time or push that time as far into the future as we can. Because right now, I think if he's doing the HVAC this week, right, as far as I know with renovations go, I believe maybe after the rough-in inspection, then we should be able to have the insulation and then the drywall, right? Now, to me, that's a house. Like, that's like, okay, we actually have gotten to the point of a house. And I think that maybe just for my mental health, seeing that we actually have a house that's set up, we have walls, we would have plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. So like I said, it's just exciting to see. The roof has been put back. The walls have been repaired for the most part, I think, as far as I know. The basement had a foundational issue that we had to, not the basement, the first floor had a foundational issue that we had to fix, which was taken care of. We also have to make the stairs wider, so you know, we're waiting for that. But like I said, I think we're doing well. So in terms of the house being renovated. But like I said, it's concerning because we have to figure out how can we bring in more money to offset the expenses that we have. So as y'all know, every Monday on my channel, I do on my YouTube, on my Instagram, I do Money Mondays, where I pretty much go through our finances and just kind of post it and see, you know, what kind of things I find in the finances. So I didn't do it this week, so I'm probably going to do it, might do it today or tomorrow, and then put that out there because I need to find out how much money we are currently spending, how much of a, other word to use in the video, how much of a runway we have until we run out of capital. That's something else to figure out. So one of the solutions I've come up with for increasing that capital is wholesaling. So to me, that's the biggest amount of money that we can get the quickest out of all the different ideas or things that are out there. As far as I know, I think that's the quickest amount of way to get 10 or 20,000 other than stealing or robbing somebody. That's probably the fastest way to get it. So I talked about last week where I had a wholesale deal, right? I had a lead. I keep saying deal. I had a lead from last week, and it was a pretty promising lead. Now, I don't know about other people who are in wholesaling, or, you know, a lot of people probably are, because that's how we kind of got to where we are with the channel. One of the issues that I always run into is the fact that I don't pull the trigger on deals that I feel like are kind of, that I'm not 100% sure about, or not even like 85% sure about. And I'm like very confident about them, but situations like that one, the guy was asking me for 10% of the earnest money, or 10% for earnest money. For people who do not know, earnest money is the amount you put down as a good faith to say, I'm going to buy this property, and if something goes wrong, they keep that. The property we negotiated was $390,000, so he would have wanted $39,000. Now I got them to come down to 5%, which would have been about $20,000. But because I talked to one of my friends, he felt like the deal should be at $350. Right now, there's another issue I have, right? And I know this is something that people, you know, in all industries probably experience, or just in their daily life, where I'm going based off of what his numbers are and what he thinks about the property. There are other people who the deal would work for, but because I don't have the leeway to try and figure that out, I'm trying not to make those kind of decisions because I don't think we are at a point to be able to afford that risk. So right now we're doing risk management, and putting up $20,000 for the possibility of getting a deal is not good enough for me. Now, I think that if they came down to the 1%, then I'll be able to do that. So as I talked about last week, I said if they came back to me, I felt like the guy was, you know, puffing, talking about, oh, we have somebody else waiting, so you gotta move quickly, because if you don't, we have another offer. Now, I've been dealing with realtors for a while now with wholesaling, so I know that they don't tell the truth and they lie very often, and I know that they exaggerate, and I know that they only care about getting money and getting paid. So I told myself, and I think I told you guys too, that if he called me back, or when they call me back, or whenever I talk to them again, what I was going to do was say, listen, I want 1%. If it's not 1%, I'm not doing it. Because I already knew. He told me I have one day to make my decision. Other than that, they're going to go with somebody else. And I knew once he said that, I'm like, okay, this is my indicator that you are lying. Because one, you hassling with me about the percentage of the earnest money deposit, number one, right? And then number two, if you had somebody else with a better deal, you would go with them. You wouldn't be hassling with me about the earnest money deposit. So I said, okay, I'm just going to wait it out. And 2 days go by, I pass my 1 day limit, and he decides to call me back. So here's where I made a mistake. What I did was I told them, listen, I am only doing 1%. and I said I'm coming down to 350. So I told him from 390 to 350, right? And he told me that he does not think the owner will take that, or the owner won't take that. So I said, okay, well, that's it. That's all I'm doing, 350. That's it. Now, back from the days when I used to run game on women, right? One of the mistakes that people make, and honestly, it accounts for all negotiations, is you have to leave a space for the other person to come back. So you can't just go, I guess, how could I put this? The reason why that was a bad move to make is because now for him to come back to me to then renegotiate the deal, he has to come to me from a place of, that was complete, I was wrong and you're right, and here is the deal for 350, right? It's gonna be hard for him to do that. So before, when I was running game on girls, what I would do was I would always leave the option for either an apology or some way for them to still have pride when the discussion is over, right? So an example of that in this situation would have been, listen, 390 is not gonna work for me. Okay, now I would still want to get this deal done. So if the owner can come back at something other than 390 or lower than 390, we make this deal work. And if not, if this deal does not work, then we can find another deal that you have that can work for both of us, right? So that's kind of how you still leave the door open. You don't want to just close the door completely and go, oh, you're not going to pay me my 350. That's it, I'm done. So that's something that I know that I'm kind of on the fence about, because back then, because I was trying to be more assertive during the phone call, because I felt like earlier in the phone call I should have went lower when I told the guy 380 and he went up to 390. And also, to be completely honest, I have not been studying negotiations in a very long time. Like, I haven't been researching it and then practicing things like that. So while I'm driving for dollars today, I've been learning more about or researching more about negotiations. And funny enough, in the video, they talk about the same situation. He talked about when you end a negotiation, you want to end where both people feel like they didn't get everything they want, but neither did the other person. So it kind of, you leave on a positive note in a situation. So I think that somewhere along the lines between before and now, I've switched from being more of a empathetic negotiator to more of a dominant negotiator, and I don't think that that's going to have the best results. I think that having or coming to an agreement with both people feel like, okay, we're both getting a deal, as opposed to they feel like I'm getting a deal and they're not. So that's something I have to now readjust for myself and just recalibrate my brain, because one thing I also know with negotiation, you have to practice. Something you have to do regularly. You have to talk to people regularly. You can't just not talk to anybody for months on end and then think you're going to be good at negotiating. You have to just regularly get those reps in. So that's something I'm going to apply now going forward. I'm still doing some more research on it, and I feel as though it's definitely helpful. Like I said, being able to drive around, driving for dollars, allows me to listen to more podcasts, allows me to study things more, allows me to just process more thoughts, and it's definitely becoming very enjoyable. So one of the things that I've realized I have to do is find a way to use this money, because, right, this is the next topic. It's because I think a lot of people always tell themselves what they would do if they had, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in their account. Oh, I would go and buy a house. Oh, I would go and try and flip it by the end of the month. Or I would go and, buy some couches and flip the couches. So everybody has a thing that they would do with that money, right? Now, I am currently in that situation. I have to figure out what can I do and how can I utilize that money. It can't sit in my account. The longer it sits in my account, the less valuable it is, because every single day, more or less, it's having interest being charged on it. So what I decided to do was I decided to go back on Fiverr and hire a cold caller. Right now, The reason why I decided to hire a cold caller, if people don't know, that's somebody who will call the properties that I drive around and get their numbers for, is because I was calling people and I would drive for 4 hours or so, right? I'll get like 100+ leads, and then I would come in the house and try and call people. I would call 25 numbers or 25 properties, and that would take me an hour and a half to call those 25 properties. So if I'm doing 100 properties, I'm looking at 8+ hours a day on just that, right? So I'm sitting by the phone for 4+ hours, and then I'm driving around for 4 hours. So that's 8 hours out the day. I sleep for 6. I have the other 8. That's 14 hours out the day. And then I'm left with what? I'm left with 9 hours. Honestly, I'm not sure the 9 hours would even be at. Let me see. If I woke up at 6, I drove around, I get out the house like 9. So 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1. And then from 1 to 5, let's say 1 to 6, I'll be cold calling, right? And that's if everything goes perfectly well. That means there's no traffic. That means that I get back home at exactly this time. I'm not eating. I'm not talking about anything. I'm not on my phone. It's just strictly 8 hours, right? I feel like it sounds plausible, but and I know in practice it's not going to go that way. And then after that, the other issue is this: how do I do anything else? How do I edit the podcast? How do I record the podcast? How do I record the other Turo videos we have to do? And now my test is coming up on Thursday. About to shout out to my real estate test. I'm gonna try and pass that on Thursday. It's a lot of things that come into play with that. So I decided, okay, how can I put the money I have to use? Because it has to be used in some way. It's just sitting in the account. It's not helping. So I'm like, okay, if I can drive around every single day and get 100 properties a day and then outsource that to be called by somebody else, it allows me to then try and figure out other ways to make more money in that meantime. So I hired the cold caller. I sent her, I think I sent her 100 properties. So I'm going to see what happens going forward with that. And then because I've been reading up and studying more negotiations and scripts and things like that, I'm able to give her a better script to use for the properties. And then I use phone burner. So that means I can actually record the phone calls once if she decides to use that. I don't know if she's going to yet. Asked her today. I am still waiting back for a response to that, but she seemed kind of interested in it. So that was kind of surprising. But like I said, that's the plan right now. So like I said, this whole week has been just more of a maintenance week. Nothing really crazy happened I can even remember. And honestly, I'm probably forgetting something. Something probably happened I don't remember. It's just been Tuesday came very quickly this week, like very quickly. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to count, at this point have scheduled my real estate exam. So my real estate exam has been scheduled, and that's on Thursday. So I guess that counts as like something that I've done. But there's so many other things happening that something like that does not stay in my brain for that long. My real estate exam is on Thursday, and I still need time to study for that. So I have to find time between today and Thursday to study for that, and then also prep the car and edit the podcast. And we posted a video on the channel about like how we researched finding a car, and it's doing pretty well. So in the video, people asking me to do their city. So because of that, I have a backlog of like 6 of those videos to make, right? I have to do like Atlanta. I have to do like Cleveland, Ohio, Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, and another place. I forgot the other one, right? So it takes me about 2 hours to record that video, maybe an hour and a half, and then another couple of hours to actually edit that video. So I'm already backlogged on that. I still have like, I wanted to do an update on Turo video and like 2 YouTube videos in terms of how we approach YouTube. So we're backlogged like 8 videos right now, and I have to find time to get my exam done. So like I said, I'm gonna try and study tomorrow, possibly the day before the exam and see what happens. But I think, like I said, for Turo videos, I'm probably going to put a cap on that at some point, probably in the near future, because it's taking up too much of my time to edit all of those videos. I might bring it back later. Like I said, I'm going to do Atlanta, and then maybe like major cities I might do, possibly. But like I said, I'm going to have to kind of reel that back until we figure out what to do about getting more income. So another thing that we've been doing to infuse more capital into the business is started a candle company, right? It is Ember Candles, like M-B-U-R candles, okay? But Ember, like E-M-B-E-R, or Ember, like Melissa Burnett. I know it's fire. Literally, it's fire because it's candles. Now, that's kind of what we've been focusing on for the last week. Melissa has been trying to figure out the marketing and doing the we got two orders for the candles. We got 2 orders for the I'll put the link for the description, or the link in the description for the candles. You can see the website and, you know, see we have 4 different candles right now. We have Do Not Disturb, okay? We have Room Service, we have People Watching, and don't tell me the 4th one, I remember it. Wind Down. I know them all. Okay, so you know, we have the candles, and that's it. So that's kind of the next thing. Now, selling candles, selling any product, I feel like it's going to be very hard, because we had to figure out like distribution of the candles, where we're going to put them, marketing them. Social media marketing is a huge behemoth within itself. On every platform, whether it's Facebook, Google Ads, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's so much. It's so much in terms of marketing for that. But yeah, I'm curious. What made you? Are you gonna talk about that here? Why you started a candle company, or is that something you want to save? Yeah, something you want to save for your own video, or how do you want to do that?
I could do both.
Okay.
Why? I don't know why I started a candle company. I knew I wanted to sell a product. As you guys saw in the past, I tried clothing. The only thing about clothing is that it takes up too much of my time, kind of, and it's not as scalable. Whereas, like, let's say it takes me 3 hours to make one garment, so I can make maybe 3 garments a day. It takes me maybe 3 hours to make. Like, I can probably make like 10, 20 candles in an hour. Is that true? Maybe 2. With the right tools and stuff, I could do that easy, right? So there's that. I can mass produce it faster, and then I don't have to worry about sizes. I don't have to worry about. It's a lot of things I don't have to worry about. A lot of things. So yeah, and then my main thing is that I love candles. I always have. I love the scents and all that stuff. From that, I learned the difference between like different type of waxes and stuff. So I chose beeswax for my candles, which purifies the air, which is really cool. You can look it up. I use clean scents, so there's no toxins, no formaldehyde, none of that stuff. Because, you know, Donovan and I do care about food and do care about, you know, what we put in our bodies. Well, not so much now, but we used to. And fragrances are one of those things that can disrupt your hormones and all that type of stuff. So all the scents that I have here are clean scents. And then finally, I use wooden wicks, which are eco-friendly, and
they crackle.
They crackle as they burn. That is true. And then it's something. There's a difference between that and cotton wicks. Either way, it's more eco-friendly. The wooden wicks and the crackling, I actually love. And I just y'all gonna see the pictures. I don't know if Donovan's gonna put it here, but either the website or the pictures. No,
it's gonna be on the website. You can see it. I'll put the link down below if y'all can see the.
So it's gonna be on the website, and I just really am so proud of it, because everything really came from me. The logo, I made it myself with my hands. Like I made it. I made the product with my hands, and I made the everything else. So the website, you know, yeah, very excited.
So yeah, like I said, that's what we're working on too. And like I said, the name of the game right now is to make enough money to get to the refinance. That's like the name. That's the game. If we had a game title, it would be refinance. That would be what it's called. So we're doing what we can to get to that point. Like I said, because we got that loan approval for about 30K, we could use that to get, oh, I forgot about one thing. I'll come back. We could use that to buy more cars. But like I said, I don't feel comfortable enough that it'll net us enough money to do what we need to do. Now, the other play that I have in mind, right, is this. Take the money that they gave us, right? This is where it comes back to information. Take the money they gave us and then pay off our credit cards, right? Only for it to report to the credit bureaus, then take that money back off the cards, right, and use it how we're using it currently. Now, the reason I say that is because if we can get our credit scores up high enough, then the credit card companies will either, one, increase our limit on our cards, or give us another card with more money on it. So, you know, another 5K, another 3K, that won't hurt. It won't hurt. So like I said, we're running low on cash. We're using a lot of credit right now. And you know, like I said, I think our runway right now is probably, I will give it like a month and 2 weeks. I think we have a month and 2 weeks before things start getting really, really tight. We're like, how are we gonna figure this out? I think that's where we're at right now, a month and 2 weeks. So like I said, stay tuned to figure out if we gonna get out of this one. This is, we escaped eviction, we escaped unemployment. So our track record says we gonna get out of it. I don't know how, but our track record says we gonna figure it out. So y'all know how the Bamboo Project gets down. Now that is it for the life update. I'm on to episode Playback. So today, as I was driving around for dollars, I put the podcast on, and I want to say that I think that I prefer listening to the podcast as I drive the most out of all of the other places, or the other all of the other outlets, I would say, for listening to the podcast. I think I prefer it over the television. I prefer it over the laptop. I prefer it over headphones. I just prefer, I think it just sounded like it was a podcast to be played in the car. So I enjoyed that. Actually, I think back in the day, my man's Kamar, shout out to Kamar, he would listen to the podcast on his way to work. I'm pretty sure it had to be in the car. So there's that. Now, I definitely think last week's podcast, like I said, it's doing well for the podcast. I actually posted on my page, right? I think it's so crazy. There are videos on the channel. There are podcasts on the channel that have 6 views, multiple videos that have 6 views, 5 views, 4 views. Think about a year later, they have 4 views. That's so crazy to me. Like, every time I think about it, I go, 7 views? Like, I could not do 7 views now if I tried. Like, and that's just crazy to me. So to see the podcast do 170 views in the first day and a half, it's like, bruh, like, this shit is so crazy. So I forgot why I was bringing that up. Oh, okay, because I was listening to the podcast and I'm just thinking about how like good it sounded to me listening. Like, okay, I'm enjoying this. So I just think it's crazy how people seem to be enjoying it as well. So it's always just a crazy thing to me. So in the podcast, there are two things I want to go over. One is I've been playing a game. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's not a new. I've done this before. I talked about it here before, but obviously, probably back in the day when I was getting 6 views and 7 views, y'all wasn't here, so y'all didn't hear me talk about it. So Rich Dad Poor Dad game, and I've been playing it like the last 2 or 3 days, right? And in the game, it's just a fun way of how to get out of the metaphorical rat race. So it's fun. It teaches you about stocks and kind of plays on your mindset of how you would approach finances, right? So playing the game, made me reconsider my thoughts on what's more important, information or money, and which one to have first, because that was something we talked about last week on the podcast. And like I said, it's really tough. It's because they're like neck and neck. They're really neck and neck. But if I'm going based off of the game and the psychology behind the game, I definitely think that it's better to have money first before information. And the reason I say that is this. Multiple things, but here's one of the main reasons. I think that without information, you can still get lucky with your money. So let's say that you, I don't know, invest your $500 into Litecoin or Safe Moon or some shit like that, right? And you don't know what it's supposed to do. You just threw it in there and gambled, right? You have no idea how stocks work. You don't know about cryptocurrency. You just said, well, YOLO, right? You throw your money in there. You come back in a week and you find out you have $4,000, right? That can't happen if you don't have any money. So you can have information about the Litecoin going up and Bitcoin going up and whatnot, which a lot of people probably do. But if you don't, you can't even throw no money in there. So I think, and like I said, this is one of those A-B, 1A, 1B situations. It's not like, you have to have both of these things, the information and the money. But to start off, I definitely would say get the money first. And in the game, when you play it, right, you have things called like small opportunities and big opportunities. So a small opportunity might be something like you can buy, 5 stocks. Let's say the stock is in the game. The stock will be $10 a share, right? And you work at your job, and this game might be a janitor or a teacher or airline pilot or whatever. So you have $400. So with that $400, you can buy, 40 shares, right? Let's say 40 times 10. Let's say you buy 30 shares. 30 times 10 is $300. You're going to get paid next week, right? So you'll get that money back. But that stock might go up. And in that stock goes up, triple in the game might go up triple or quadruple. You turn $300 into $1,200, right? And that's just based off of you having money to spend on that stock. It won't affect you that much because you'll get paid. And even with that mindset, something I've been thinking about now is we need to have cash flow. So I would, it's one of those situations where I think it's kind of funny too. I would not recommend anybody to quit their job to be an entrepreneur. I would not recommend it. But the reason why I say that with a side eye is because I have this theory, right? That every successful person tells everybody behind them not to do what they did. And then it's come to a point where you got to think to yourself, well, if you didn't do what you did to become successful, how am I going to get there if I don't do the same thing? So this is kind of like dilemma or conundrum where you got to really think about it and go, all the mistakes you made you who you are. So if you tell me to avoid mistakes, how do I become successful? So that's kind of something I've been pondering lately. Maybe you have to make different mistakes. Maybe you could make the same mistakes. I think it's subjective. But I definitely, it's really nuanced, because if I had a job right now, if I was going to work a 9 to 5, think about what I said earlier about driving for dollars and cold calling. I'll work from 9 to 5 at my job and then come home and do what? I'll be tired. So you gotta figure out a way to not be tired. You have to figure out a way to be able to afford your food that won't put you to sleep every time you eat it. And then you wake up and do that every single day. So like I said, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard because we have a very peculiar situation. We don't pay rent for our place, right? Because of the moratorium, and then we just haven't paid rent since then, and things are still up in the air right now. So we have that on our side. We were able to get a lot of money for credit and loans and things of that sort. So like I said, I wouldn't recommend somebody to quit their job, but who knows? Maybe we are where we are right now because we quit our jobs. I don't know. Would we be further if we didn't quit our jobs? I don't know. I can't tell you. Do you think so? If we didn't quit working at at Starbucks, and I was still a bike messenger.
Will we be further than where we are now in terms of what?
Freedom and financial and finances.
I don't think so. I was working a lot. Like, well, I'm thinking about Starbucks because that's the last stable job that I had. Every job I had after that, I don't know. And I was working crazy hours, either really early or really late, and I was a supervisor in this. I was working 5 days a week, like long shifts, 5 days a week. So, excuse me, for me, doing all of that, I think, no, there's no way. Because we wouldn't have done any of the things that we did.
Like what?
Like, I don't think we would have bought a house. I don't think we would have, like, not in the time frame that we didn't know. I don't think we would have bought the house. I don't think we would have, what's the other thing? The YouTube, all the videos and stuff.
Yeah, true. That is true.
We wouldn't have as many videos as we have up right now. I don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I think and that's just two things. I feel like throughout that time that I haven't been working, I feel like I picked up so many different skills that I wouldn't have if I didn't take that time off.
So see, this goes back to the point where it's like, do you quit your job or do you stay at your job? Like I said, I was able to quit my job because we're not paying rent. So that's like a major expense. Our rent would be $1,800. So for a studio, which I know sounds let me say that one more time. Okay. $1,800 for a studio apartment. That is probably like 300 square feet, if even, maybe less than that.
You don't even have a real refrigerator.
No refrigerator. Refrigerators is shorter than Melissa. Okay, Melissa is 5'5". Our refrigerator is 5'3". So it's just short. And we got 2 cats and we have stuff. So it's small. It's cramped in here. So I just think it's crazy, like I said, that I mean, it's hard to say whether you should quit your job or not. I think everybody's circumstance is different. Because playing the game, the Rich Dad Poor Dad game, having money and then compounding that money definitely helps. Like, it helps a lot. Like, if you make $1,000 this week and then you're able to put that into, you know, Safe Moon or some shit like that, and then it triples to 5,000, then, or whatever that, you know, triples whatever to 5,000, you're like, oh shit, that's crazy. But if you put 1,000 in and you lose the 1,000, you're like, damn, I lost 1,000. I gotta work for 2 more weeks to get that money back. If I put it in and lose it, there's no way of getting that back. Like, there's no of like, oh, I'm having another income or paycheck coming in next week, I'm gonna get the money back. No. There's no. If I take this 1,000 and put it into the abyss, and it is what it is. If it don't come, if I lose it, that's it. It's not coming back. That's all. It's game over for that. So I think that that's something that is very different. So I don't know. That's something interesting to talk about, because I know that the guy, Eric Thomas's friend, or I don't know what you want to call him, associate, Jamal King, he's from Chicago and he does 9 to 5 millionaire. But that could be a slogan to use to sell his idea of the job. But I do think there's merit to compounding the money you make.
I think that if you're intentional about how you do it, and you know, like I said, you don't, because my thing is that you don't need to have a plan to start. And that's what I kind of want people to understand. Where it's like, even if you haven't done the research yet, even if you haven't, but you know that you want to do something, just start saving. That's something that you can start doing now without having to sit down and doing the research.
Yeah, I see. I agree. So yeah, that's episode Playback. There is, oh no, there's not. One other thing too. This was about the submissive conversation I had with Melissa. I don't really know if I fleshed it out well enough, and I wanted to add some more points to it, or another point to it, is that I really just believe that yes, facts.
That's Donovan's belief.
Is that women have to be untaught what, and not even, like I said, I don't know if it's all women. I have to talk to some other women, because I really don't feel like I hear that conversation from people who are not, from women who are not black. I don't know if I hear that.
I don't think that's true.
Who do you feel like you hear that conversation?
Bro, mad feminists are not black.
What do you mean? I'm confused.
There's a lot of white feminists that be having the same ideologies where I'm not doing nothing for no man. No man can't tell me what to do. He can't look me in my eyes and blah, blah, blah.
That don't even sound like... Well, who? Who does that?
The feminists.
What feminists?
The feminists. The feminism. The feminist movement. How dare you call this man daddy? Feminists.
Huh. Interesting. But are those like the ones with the colored hair? Or are those like the average feminists?
What are you trying to say?
What do you think I'm trying to say?
What colored hair got to do with hair? Like,
well, it's a certain kind of feminist that has a colored hair that I'm talking about. What kind
is that?
The weird kind.
Oh, Lord. I just say feminist because it's like, it's kind of easier to put a face to that.
Yes, colored hair.
Oh, my God. Oh, it doesn't matter. Why are you trying to put hair?
You said a face.
Yeah.
That's a face.
Nah, you ain't got to do all that.
Okay.
Because it's like... Now, I don't think it's only a black woman thing. I don't think so. I think... Do I think it's only a black woman thing?
And obviously, only is a generalization. We know it's not only, but majority.
I know. I understand what you're saying.
It's for the people listening, in case they can be kind of weird about it.
Because it's like... It sucks because I don't really have a lot of interactions with other races like that. It's for me to... concrete say that yes, I've seen white women and Spanish women and Asian women. Like I don't have any anecdotal evidence for you, so that's why I can say the feminist movement. Because
listen, if y'all know, if you are a white woman or a Spanish woman or a non-black woman, or even if you are a man that deals with Asian women, Indian women, we have a lot of people from India who listen to the podcast, and Africa. They're black. I don't know if they count. No, African would be. I don't think that count as black. I don't think they count as black.
I said Indians are Asian.
That's not what I meant though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else.
No. So, like I said, are we bugging? I don't know if we're bugging.
Who's we?
We.
Are you
Melissa.
Bugging? Who's we? This we word.
The French.
Around. This is Donovan's podcast. Therefore, you hear Donovan's thoughts and opinions.
Am I bugging when I say that black women feel like they cannot be submissive without being judged?
Damn.
That's the question.
But I feel like there's two sides of every coin. Like,
okay,
I think there's like black women that they wanna
who
they want a man that's gonna take care of the house and
but this is what we talked about last week.
Especially church women.
I don't think that women know how to accept that.
Women.
Black women.
Women. In this day and age, especially if you're younger, I think that as a whole, women.
You know what we gotta call. She's black though, right?
Yes, she's black.
He call her. I want to ask her. I want to see if she's on. She wouldn't have been a podcast. So here we go.
Oh my God.
I'm like, did we ask her this question before about being submissive? About what it means? I think
so.
Okay, I want to see what she says.
Lord, she's taking a side.
Please leave your message.
Oh, she didn't answer. So
She's gonna call back.
Oh, that's what she said.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, when she calls back, we'll come back to that. Like I said, it's just something that am I being gaslit by social media? Is that what's going on, or is this really a truth that's happening? Okay, here's what it is. We have to find out.
So, because it's like,
you think it's the truth? Me too.
Donovan.
As you said,
I think that women in general are being told to be more independent. They're being given more opportunities.
Yes.
Things that we was fighting for.
Yes.
So and then especially what I see a lot, like, I think that if you are more in a more traditional like setting in terms of what,
but culturally, think about this.
Okay.
Culturally, how many cultures is it where the woman is not being led by the man?
You think that's in black culture?
Yes.
Why?
'Cause that's what I feel like I see.
I don't think the culture wants that.
But it's not. That's what's happening.
Because
Because here's what I mean. I feel like when I see black women, right?
Why you said it like
black black. When I see them, right, I feel like they do not have a role model for that. That's what I think.
I think that you could probably, I don't know.
I don't think that most women, if I think about women that I know, black women that I know, they are producing children who are independent of their man. And that's what they're shown to be. And then what you have is, here's what you have. I'm telling you. Then you have women trying to be like this happens, right? Whenever you ask a woman how you submissive, you know what they say? Well, I'm gonna cook for my man. That's what they say. And I don't even know what else. What else do y'all say?
There we go. What does being submissive mean to you?
Shutting the hell up when we talk. No, I don't know. That could be it too. But
what is being submissive?
What is being submissive? I think what is being submissive? It's not something that I can just tell you to do. I think it's knowing how to operate with a man.
So what would that look like? Can you paint?
Not arguing about the train. Not nitpicking about what train we take to get somewhere when we're gonna get there regardless. How do you teach somebody that? What do I tell somebody that? Hey, when your man said we're taking the A train, we get on the A train. It's too nuanced, too specific.
But it's like,
because why I can understand to some degree if it was a catastrophic event, but girls will do that for everything. Why did you get the spoon instead of the fork? You should get the fork instead of the spoon. But shut up. Why? Because I'm like, what's the point of it? And then it happens. It keeps going and going and going, and it's just like, what is the solution here? What are you looking for from this?
And you think that's only specific to black women?
I think that no, I don't think it's only specific to black women, but I do think that other ethnicities have a role model, have more role models to look at to see, okay, how should I act around my man? I don't even know where the majority of black women would even see that. I don't know. Where would they see that? Because we already have the whole.
I'd say maybe in the church.
Sure, if you go to church, but yeah, I could possibly see that.
A lot of black people go to church at some point in their lives.
Yes, but are the black women in the church like that with their man?
The better question is, how many black women in church have a man?
Damn, that's another question. So, like I said, man.
But I do think, because I remember growing up, I would look at my pastor and his wife and be like, okay, that's what I want to have.
How was she acting? Exactly. That's the problem. See?
What?
Exactly. I can already tell. That's the problem. See? Exactly. Loud, annoying.
No, she wasn't loud.
She was trying to control everything. Yes.
You know, eventually she started leading the service instead of pastor. And, you know, that went on for a while. And, you know, but it's like, I don't understand. Because y'all want a strong woman to be beside you because you're strong, but then don't like their strength.
We want Zoro. We want Sasuke. It's like, yo, yes, I want you to
beat Naruto ass.
What? We're talking about after that. We're talking about where it got to the point where, like, yes, I want a strong person with me. Could you imagine if Naruto was still trying to fight Sasuke as a Hokage? He's over there like, yeah, Sasuke's coming right now. I gotta fight him before he comes inside because he be trying to blow the city up, blow up the town still. But wait, hold on, wait. But he also lives here. He lives here in the Leaf Village. Wants to blow it up on the weekends. So I gotta go fight him on the weekends to stop him.
But that's not what be happening.
It's absolutely what be happening. It's absolutely what be happening. It's like we have a common goal, and a woman goes,
Because you will purposely do things that you know makes me uncomfortable.
Like what? Like what?
Let's use the train for an example.
Sure.
Taking that train.
So what does that mean? You should never be uncomfortable?
You trying to blow up the Leaf Village, not me.
What are you talking about? You don't even know why we going on the train.
Why we going on the train?
It don't matter, bro. You don't know why we going on the train. So why? That's what I'm saying. You think there's a reason? There's reasons.
What you don't be? That's the thing. You don't give me a reason.
Because you don't ask for a reason. You ask so that you can change the description. Yes, you ask.
Even when I
you ask so that you can go. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's what you do. And then you go, that right there. Because if you just ask, hey, why are you going on the train? Oh, because of this. Okay, got you. I wasn't sure. Then it'd be it. But they don't end at that. We're going on the train because of this. Yeah, but why? Can we? Do we have to? You know, so like I said, that's.
I do not think that is something that's only specific to black women. I would love to get women of other races.
Yes, please.
Conversation, because
all of our women audience.
I could be wrong, and I could also be right.
Do we have any? I don't even know. Listen, I don't. I know that's not. I mean, I don't talk to girls anymore. So, and one that to talk to was black and Spanish. Mac, you know what men gonna say. So men gonna tell me that black women be loud and annoying. That's like the common. I
feel like that.
But I think I don't. It might be gaslighting.
You dated Spanish women before too.
They were half black and they were. Let me see. Was any of them? Let me see. Trying to think. They're mostly half black, so.
What that mean?
I don't know if did they have a Spanish parent? Like, were they in a Spanish?
Yes, a Spanish. They was raised in a Spanish household.
Let me think about them. I'm gonna come back to you on that. Listen, I gotta find somebody. Listen, we are open to having a video call with somebody. I'm just curious of anybody else. I just want to know what y'all think. That's it. I just want to have a conversation. But on to today's topic. So, I have two things I want to talk about today. One being the dun dun dun. I'm gonna call that the dun dun dun. Now, word on the street is that there is a halt on the mandates. That's word on the street, right? They might bring it back, but right now I heard word on the street is there's a halt. I wanted to propose this question to people. Okay, if you got vaccinated, if you did, right, would you be mad if there was no longer a requirement to be vaccinated? If they just said in January 2022 all vaccine mandates have been dropped, would you be mad that you got vaccinated? If everybody else who didn't get vaccinated on January 1st, 2022, the law said nobody can mandate you to be vaccinated. Everybody can go back to work and you do not have to worry about being vaccinated. You can go into a restaurant. You can go into a venue. You can do all those things without a vaccine. Would you be upset if you were vaccinated? And the reason why I asked that question is because this. If you got vaccinated because it was to keep you healthy, why would you care if the law changed and it was no longer mandated? And then if you got vaccinated because of the mandate, should you have been vaccinated in the first place? I'll be thinking about that. And the way things are going, also based off what I saw last week and talked about last week, where my Explore page has been inundated with anti-COVID posts, which I still think is crazy. I'm wondering, was there some expedited push to get as many people vaccinated as possible because they knew it would not hold up in court? I'm wondering if they said, okay, maybe we can use this line here that says, in case of emergency, we can do this thing. And they ran with it knowing that the wheels of bureaucracy are slow. So because of that, they said, okay, by the time that people come around to realize that you can't do this, we'd have already vaccinated millions of people, right? And the reason I say that is there are different places that are banning certain vaccines. There are places that are seeing evidence that some vaccines are not helping people actually making them worse. There's other evidence that people or younger men are becoming unhealthy from the vaccine. So I'm just thinking, wouldn't that be crazy if that was what happened, and then we just found out like, yeah, all of this is illegal. You can't do any of these things. They won't hold up in court. At least in the American court, by any means. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else, but at least here. And then I also saw OSHA. If y'all not familiar with that, that's supposed to be the people that enforce the companies of 100 or more employees to have their employees be vaccinated. They decided that because there was a halt on the actual law that or the mandate, that they are also not going to enforce it. So I'm like, they are not going to enforce it. You have states like Florida and Texas who are going, I'm not doing that. And I'm just like, would it get to a point where they just go, you know what, forget it, just drop it, we're not doing it no more? And how crazy would that be? And would you really be surprised? I don't think so. I think a lot of people would just go, well, it's gone. You know, it is what it is. And, you know, if I die, I die, right? I think that's a line people like to use a lot. Well, it is what it is. So it's something I've been thinking about. I think it's really crazy how that's been happening. I feel this weird turn of events happening over the next 2 to 4 months. I can't really tell what direction, but I don't think it's going in more of a get more mandate direction. And the other thing too I was thinking about is, yeah, I'm familiar with the metaverse. Now, I've been playing around with this idea of the metaverse, and I've been trying to figure out, is there a downside to the metaverse, right? And obviously there are the alternative thoughts of what would be a downside to the metaverse. But in terms of on a logical level, I'm struggling to figure out what the downsides are. Now, you obviously have this dystopian future, the dystopian novels and movies and things like that, like Black Mirror and so on and so forth. Actually, I might watch that today just to see, you know, what happened there. But everything that you want to do in the real world, you can do in the metaverse. You can fly, you can shoot somebody and not go to jail, you can run, and you can become rich and do all types of stuff in there, right? I'm talking about, you know, 6-7 years from now when you're wearing a full body suit, and, you know, when a girl touches your nipples, you feel it like, oh, I felt that, you know, something like that. Now, what would you, think about this too, you can play basketball against LeBron James. Like, you can actually play against, or at least maybe the 2K version of him, but you can still play against him. So I'm thinking to myself, why would somebody not do that? You can go visit China, you can go visit Jamaica, Africa. Just go. You don't have to even get on a plane. You just put on your goggles and now you're there. So what's stopping? And if the senses are the same, it maybe, let's say it smells the same, it feels the same, it looks the same. What would make you go, I don't want this? I'd rather go to the plane, get on the plane, deal with the plane situation, go and find a hotel over there, pay for the hotel, and then try and enjoy it over there, where I could possibly get either attacked or get sick or get my stuff stolen. You know, I start thinking about it like, I don't really see how people won't get into that trap. Now, my only reason, or my only logical thought is this: if there are kinks in the system, in the sense of it don't work the way it's supposed to, like, you know, when you playing a video game and you tap in A and the guy won't shoot like he's supposed to, that I could see that being an issue. If you're trying to walk and then you trying to get into the store in Hong Kong and the door disappear, you're like, what the fuck is this, bro? I hate this shit. And you take it off. I can see that. I can see that. Now, here's the other side to this. There's a show Melissa used to watch called Sword Art Online. There's also the Black Mirror episode, and then there's also, what is the other one? Ready Player One. It's another one that you watch that's like that. Yeah. So my thing was this, right? if you wanted to think about what the boogeyman version of this is, like, oh, where are we going with this, the boogeyman metaverse? The only situation I can think of would be if maybe a couple. One, if you have to be in the metaverse to do something else. So you have to earn X amount of coins in the metaverse to be able to, I don't know, buy a car in the real world, something like that. Or if they said, you know, it's safer for the, think about this, because people, here we go for the other folk. Think about this. If they told you that it's 10 times safer for people to stay in their house and use the Oculus as opposed to going outside and interacting with people. So that's why we are now putting in place a law for you to be safe in the house. We can bring down rapes and murders, and we can bring down robberies. Everybody stays in the house and uses the Oculus. Would you stay in the house? Like, I can see that being a thing. And then the third one, which is from Sword Art Online, which is, this one is like the furthest one. Y'all know that Elon Musk is coming up with the Neuralink. If y'all don't know what that is, it's a chip that he wants to put in people's brains that's supposed to help people with neurological deficiencies. And that's where it starts at now. But he wants to also be able to have it increase your like intellectual capacity and things of that sort. What would happen if in some way that connected with the Oculus and you can't take off the Oculus, what is it called? Goggles, unless you do X, Y, and Z in the game, or if you don't follow certain rules that they tell you to. Now the Oculus can't come off. Now, like I said, that one is the furthest one, but that's from Sword Art Online. So these are just things that you gotta go, that sound kind of strange to me. So, but yeah, that's my today's topic. Like I said, this week was very maintenance oriented. I really want to see what happens going forward with the cold calling. Last time I tried it, I wasn't too happy with it, but I do think that I've made some minor changes, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. We're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with the candles, so that's going to be, you know, we got to figure out the marketing for that, because it needs a lot of marketing. But as you know, we already do a lot of stuff, so you know, there's that. And then my real estate exam, because once I get my license, I might be able to sell some property and make some money. Maybe that could be how, you know, we figure this out. But as y'all already know, the Bamboo Project always figures it out. That's what we've learned so far from watching this story, is that we've always figured it out. We will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. You know what it is, hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up for the rest of the year. You know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.